Hello everyone and welcome to another Destiny video. In today's video I'm going to be showing you what you can do to prepare for House of Wolves for when it's launched in a couple of weeks time. The main thing I will say is any consumables, materials or anything like that you have, I would just say keep everything you have and try not to use it, because as you see what I'm about to explain, all your materials and consumables will probably come in handy when the House of Wolves is launched. So that's why it's best to try and not use any of it. Okay, and on to your first material, and that is the motive light. Now, whereas before there wasn't much use for this material, it's going to be coming very handy. Now, the main things you're going to need these for is entry into the Trials of Osiris, where you can get some high-end gear and weapons, and also it's going to be another factor in when you want to reforge any of the new weapons that you get from House of Wolves. So with House of Wolves only a couple of weeks away, I would suggest not spending any on the speaker to try and get his items, which are pretty much pointless, and any of the engrams that Xur has, I would just save them, stick them in your vault so they're out of the way so you're not tempted. Okay, and on to the next one, which is the strange coin. Now, as we all know, these come in very handy, and especially on the first weekend after the new DLC comes out, Xur will more than likely have a new exotic. Now, this can come in the form of a piece of armor, a weapon. Either way, any new stuff is going to be good. So again, do your weekly heroic strikes, stock them up, stick them in your vault so they're out of the way. Okay, and on to my next tip, which is commonly known as reputation edging. Now, what you want to try and do is leading from now up until House of Wolves is out, is try and get each of your factions, Vanguard, New Monarchy, Dead Orbit, etc., up to as close to ranking up as possible. So then on day one, all you've got to do is just cash in a bounty, cash in a package, and what you'll do is you'll level up that faction. Even though your old packages, you won't be able to get any new stuff from, it will still be the old stuff. The new package you will get will give you a chance of getting the new stuff, which will come in very handy. Now, the best way to do this is you can do your rock strikes, tiger strikes, all them in the Vanguard strike playlist, do your nightfall strikes, weekly heroic, but a very fast way to do it, which a lot of people don't know about, is if you grab 1, 2 of your friends, go to Earth, because it's nice and small and it's not very spread out, is just go around and do as many patrols as you can. Just basically split up, so one of you start in the starting area, one of you go to the divide, another one go to the Forgotten Shore. Then all you do, once you've cleared all the patrols in that area, switch, so then one of you will then go to the Rocky Yard, the other one to the Moth Yards, and then the guy that's in the Forgotten Shore will then go to Skywatch. Now, I've put on screen at the moment how much each of the patrols are worth in reputation wise, and there is only 5 types of patrols. Whether they're adding any more in House of Wolves I don't know, but this is the current scoring system with the current patrols. Okay, so this now leads me on to the next big topic, which quite a few people have been talking about, which is your postmaster packages, which you get from leveling up your Cryptarch, leveling up your vendors, so on and so on. My advice on this will be to keep every package that you have, as from the experience with the Dark Below, you might not get any of the new stuff from the current postmaster packages that you do have, but when you trade them in with your respective vendor, you will then get reputation with that current vendor, and what it does is it will help to rank up whether you're Dead Orbit, New Monarchy. Once you hit that new rank, you'll then get a new package, and in that new package, that is where you have the chance of getting the new weapons, new armor, possibly new shaders, new ships. We don't know yet, you have to wait till it comes out, but my personal opinion will be to keep everything you have, even the Cryptarch packages, because you'll get quite a few engrams. All you have to do then is on day one, cash all your Cryptarch packages in on every character that you have, transfer them over to one character, and then cash them all in. because if you cash them all in on one character, you have more chance of leveling up Crypt Art more times, and that way, once again, you'll have more chance of getting Crypt Art packages, will then lead to more engrams, which will lead to new stuff. Another thing to add is if you're cashing in, say, a Dead Orbit package, make sure you have the Dead Orbit class item on, because it will only classify it as that vendor's rep and will not work if you try cashing in a Dead Orbit package on a new Monarchy class item. That will not work. You only get the reputation for that specific vendor. Okay, so now we go on to commendations. There's two types of commendations, Crucible and Vanguard. Now, in the House of Wolves, these are basically being made obsolete, but one big factor they're going to be doing with them is you can use them, I guess the term is, and what they do, every time you use one, it will give you 250 rep towards the faction that you want them to go towards. So if you want it towards New Monarchy, wear a New Monarchy class item, and then all you got to do is just go onto them, use them, and it will give you 250 rep. Okay, and the next thing we go on to is Glimmer. Now the cap will still be 25,000, but the main thing you're looking to do is try and get as close to 25,000 for when House of Wolves hits, because you're going to be using a lot of Glimmer to upgrade your armor and your guns. And I'm pretty sure if you're maxed out all three of your characters, you're going to have a lot of exotics, and if that is the case, then you're going to need a lot of Glimmer in the new DLC to level them up and make them that 365 attack which we've all been waiting for. Now, another way to stock up on your Glimmer is consumables, and these are the little white pyramids that drop from your yellow barred enemies, and they can be anywhere from your house banners, silken codex, your axiomatic beads, I don't think I got that right, but never mind, and I think it's your resupply codes or your network keys. I'm not sure, I always get those two mixed up. And what you're looking to do is just save up as many of them as possible, because what you can do is you can cash them in at the Crypt Arc for 200 Glimmer each. But one little bonus which a lot of people don't know is if you have the respective Glimmer boost item on, so for your Silken Codex, I would say your Black Wax Idol, because they're both 5, you will get an extra percentage for when you cash them in with your Crypt Arc. So instead of getting 200 Glimmer, you would then get 215 Glimmer. So when you cash in quite a few in one go, this will give you quite a big boost in your Glimmer. Okay, and next we move on to your materials. Now these are your Spirit Bloom, your Spin Metal, your Relic Iron, and your Helium Filaments. Now what you're looking to try and do is have as close to 400 as possible, as this will then allow you to have plenty of materials ready for day one for upgrading your exotics and your weapons, and if you're lucky on day one you might be even able to ascend some of your armor or your guns. One little thing I did forget to mention is if you have a constant flow of Glimmer coming in and you keep hitting that cap, I would recommend that you use some of that Glimmer to get yourself some more plasteel plating, sapphire wire, or Hadronic Essence, depending on what class you're playing with. The best way to do this is to come down to the hangar section where the Vanguard Quartermaster is, and either buy the helmet or whatever piece of armor he's got on, and they cost 250 Glimmer each, and all you got to do is just buy a couple until you're happy with the amount of Glimmer that's gone down and that you'll be able to earn it back. Dismantle them and you'll get 1 or 2 of your respective material. Okay, so the next thing we move on to is your marks. Now that's your Vanguard and your Crucible. Now what you're trying to aim for on day one of House of Wolves is to have about 175 of each, just purely so you're covered in case you want armor or guns. Now as you see on screen, the boots, now I know as well as the chest piece and the gauntlets, they are 75 marks, whether that's Crucible or Vanguard marks depending on the vendor you buy from. The helmet is 120 marks, and if you choose to buy a weapon that's 150, so you'll have to bear in mind which vendor you're buying from and what you would like to spend them on. But one thing to consider is if you do hit the cap of 200 on your Crucible or your Vanguard marks, is you can either keep them for day one of the House of Wolves, or if you would like to round off at your 175, 180 mark, you can go down to your Vanguard Quartermaster or your Crucible Quartermaster and you can buy your materials. So that's another way to top up your materials to 400, is just use your excess ones. So then that way when you go out, do your nightfall or your weekly heroic, you're not technically wasting any of the marks that you get. Then we move on to something which should be a main priority for day one, is make sure each of your characters have got 10 bounties that are worth 5000 XP and 100 rep each. Now I've put on screen a couple of examples. So you got your overcharge and you got your Merrick, the ear prints. They're all worth 5000, and you need to make sure you have at least 10 of them on your characters by day one, just purely because this will fast level any armor or weapons that you get, and you can basically get your new stuff leveled up really fast. Also, if possible, try and have one Crucible bounty that is worth 5000 and 100 rep, because this will be purely used to level up your Crucible rank, which was explained earlier in the video. Okay, and now we move on to the speaker and what he will look like in the House of Wolves. I mean, he obviously hasn't changed himself, but he is going to have a new purpose, and that is basically where you can use all your old stuff, like your Ascended Shards, Ascended Energy, Radiant Shards. And basically what you can do with these is turn them into Glimmer, turn them into Motes of Light, which again I explained earlier in the video on how crucial they're going to be. So if there's any way for you to get them now, like Vault Glass, Crow's End, doing your weekly heroics, I would stock up on any of them, because I'm pretty sure especially the Motes of Light are going to be most important in this new DLC. Okay, so now we move on to upgrading exotics. Now the main thing for this is going to be exotic shards, so if there's any way for you to stock up on them, I suggest you do that. And make sure you stock up on your weapon parts, because they're going to be a really crucial part in upgrading your exotic weapons. This leads me to upgrading your legendary weapons also, and for this you're going to need a new material which is called Etheric Light. Now from what they said in their Reef reveal on Twitch, you can only acquire this from the Prison of Elders, Trials of Osiris. You have a small chance of getting it from Nightfall and from Iron Banner. Also, to upgrade your legendary weapons you also need the materials like your Spirit Bloom and that, which I explained earlier in the video, and that is why I explained to try and stock up to near 400, because at least then you're pretty much guaranteed not to run out. Okay, one thing I just want to add from earlier, which I forgot to mention regarding the reputation edging, was what you need to do is just make sure each of your vendor is up to at least the end of rank 2 heading into rank 3, because you will not get a package from any of your vendors unless they turn to rank 3 or above. Now if I've missed anything from this video, please feel free to comment in the comment section, or if there's any more information that you would like to know about, whether it's in this video or not, then please feel free to comment that as well. Either way, I would love to hear your feedback and know what you think about this video, and whether it's going to be relevant for you or you're going to find it too hard. Either way, please leave a comment and let me know what you think. Okay, well thanks for watching, and if you found it at all any of use, then please hit the thumbs up and subscribe to my channel.